My next guest is the founder and designer of Dinero Talks clothing. He hails from Norwalk, Connecticut. He is a grinder, a hard worker, and a talented designer. He has been in the company of great personalities such as Sway, Jadakiss, Pop Smoke, may he rest in peace.
This guy is going places, and we are going to see his name in bright lights before we know it. Dinero Talks is on the show. So lucky to have you. How are we doing, my friend?
We're doing great, man. Honestly, it's a pleasure being here. I'm thankful to be up here. We're working hard, just pushing towards success each and every week, each and every day. Working hard.
Oh, man. Nothing but, man. We appreciate you, and we have a friend Max in studio as well. So it's going to be a good time. So lots to talk about, lots to get into. I'm going to just ask you right away, Aaron, what's going on? How has 2022 treated you so far?
2022 has treated me good, man. I've been on a great journey, honestly, with myself. I focused in on my health. I've been in the gym a lot lately. With the fashion scene. At the beginning of the year, I got some merch to Gunna, which was huge,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gave him a hat and everything. I gave him a cheetah print hat. He was happy about that. I gave him a vest and a tech suit. So, just working, pushing. 2020 is going good. We have a pop-up shop coming next month. New t-shirts, sports bras, bathing suits, everything, swim trunks,
Awesome. Can you tell me where that pop-up shop is going to be, and what are the days? What are the official dates for it?
We don't have the official dates yet, but the pop-up shop will be in Norwalk, Connecticut at Mr. Sports.
All right.
The sneaker store.
Yes. Where you the exact road? I think I'll look it up while throughout, but Mr. Sports in Norwalk, Connecticut, and it will be in June. So, right?
Yes, in June.
Okay, cool. So as we're recording this in mid-May, you'll definitely tell me where it is, and I'll definitely put it in the description page where to go to that pop-up shop. And we're going to promote it throughout, but just to start off as well, and we are wearing Dinero Talks clothing. I'm wearing a shirt that's also tie-dye for anybody who's watching the YouTube. You're wearing this tie-dye too, which is like an orange tie-dye type of feel, right?
It's a peach. It's a peach.
Okay, peach.
This one isn't out though yet. This is a one-on-one.
Okay. And like I said, we're going to talk about this throughout, but if we wanted to look at your clothing, and then we're going to obviously talk about your journey there, where can we find it?
You can find my clothing. I have a website, www.dinerotalksclothing.com, and I also have my clothing page on Instagram. That's at @DineroTalks_clothing. And we also have a Facebook page, Dinero Talks Clothing. You can find us there.
Awesome, and those links are in the description page on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. Okay, so this is where you're at right now. You have a website. You have been in the company of people. You obviously Gunna. We talked about Sway, and I definitely want to get into that throughout. But let's talk about the beginning. Let's talk about how we got to this position. So Dinero Talks. Talk to me. When did this idea come to you? When did you decide, I'm going to enter the world of fashion, and it is competitive? What made you decide to take a shot at it?
So what really made me decide to take a shot at it, as you know, like growing up in high school and everything, I always dressed well, I always dressed nice, and I always felt good about myself. And I always felt that I could put together outfits or different styles and different looks, and I always had a passion for fashion.
Right.
So growing up in high school and everything, I always spent a lot of money on clothes.
Okay.
So I figured out I might as well start on my own brand, so I can make my own money off of clothes, since I'm always supporting other brands and up and coming designers, So that's where it really started from.
Cool. And do you remember, was this in high school, like high school itself, when you decide, walking in those streets of Norwalk High School, you know what, it's time to put my own brand out there, put my name out there? Or was it more after high school, or?
It was more so after high school. I'll say that, it was after high school. But during high school, like towards the end, like 12th grade, I started supporting a lot of streetwear brands.
Yeah.
So from there, I'm like, I could do this myself. You know what I mean? I'm creative, I dress nice. Let's give it a shot.
And look at that, and obviously we see plenty of models rocking your stuff. You're growing a following, and you're doing good so far. And I know where exactly you're coming from with this brand and creating podcasts. I honestly just thought, why not me? I'm sure you feel the same way.
Absolutely, why not me? Let's do it. If anybody could do it, we could do it.
That's what I like to hear, man. So, as you mentioned, after high school, you thought, okay, I believe I can keep up with these people who are creating clothes and stuff in the fashion industry, and specifically streetwear. You consider where you are specifically in the fashion, right? Is it more streetwear?
Yes, it's more streetwear. Yes.
Cool.
But at the same time, we could create anything when it comes to fashion. I'm always accepting custom orders, you know, and I'm always looking to do something new or something different. So, you know what I mean? We don't just only focus on streetwear fashion, you know. We focus on everything. But right now, our main designs are more so streetwear fashion.
Right, right. And you know, like one of the things, like a Ralph Lauren, I think can blend in all types of environments.
Yes.
We've seen Ralph Lauren in streetwear. We obviously see it in the formal wear, and you know, people who are white collar jobs or blue collar jobs. Do you think Dinero Talks can be like a Ralph Lauren one day? Do you think you see a Dinero Talks button up or stuff like that?
Absolutely. There's no limit with Dinero Talks. Like, this brand is gonna go to the next level. We're gonna go to the next level, and we're gonna accomplish everything. You know what I mean? We're gonna go through all doors.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. So, why don't we talk about the design aspects and Dinero Talks name itself? Why did you name it Dinero Talks?
Growing up, I came up with the name Dinero Talks because growing up, I've always been like a hustler. You know what I mean? I've always been a go-getter, and I've always liked the concept of Dinero Talks. Basically, so when I created my Instagram, actually, my Instagram name was supposed to be Money Talks, but somebody already had that name. So I went on the internet and I typed in what's money in Spanish, and it came up with Dinero. So I said we're gonna run with Dinero Talks, and it's always been catchy. I always love that name. You know, it's just it flows. You know. So we came with Dinero Talks. One day I reached out to my uncle and I had him make me a logo. I asked him, yo, uncle, can you create a logo for me? And he came up with a logo, and then from there, we just started making the clothes. I ordered some samples. I had some connections in Pakistan, which helped me out, you know.
Okay.
And then we networked with some manufacturers in China, and we got the fabrics right, and we started producing.
Really? And how much of a factor with the fabric and the material, how much does that play into what you're doing? Like, is it making the biggest difference and stuff?
Sorry to cut you off, but it plays a huge part, because honestly, I would never put out any clothes I wouldn't wear myself. So I'm not gonna put out any cheap material, or I'm not gonna put out some clothes, like, even though the brand is called Dinero Talks, I want the customer to be happy. I'm not worried about, it's not just about the money, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, when I put out clothes, I'm only putting out stuff that I truly like, you know what I mean?
All right. I do know what you mean. Good stuff there. So we're getting the material, you have your connections there, you obviously have the brand and the logo most of all, so we're at the beginning stage of building the brand, creating that type of content. Now I want to focus on the business itself. You obviously have your product ready to distribute it, so where do you go next in putting your name out there?
Where we go next and putting our name out there is opening up our first store. Right now, I'm thankful that I have my clothes at Mr. Sports.
Yeah.
I have a good friend that works there. His name is Earl, and we did our first pop-up shop there, and we're gonna do our next pop-up shop there, like we discussed in June. So then just keep pushing until we open up our store, and then once we have our own store, I think we're going to locate in either LA or Miami.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to transition to somewhere nice.
Look at that. And by the way, 235 Main Street, Norwalk, Connecticut is Mr. Sports' location where you can personally purchase Dinero Talks clothing.
Absolutely. Go check it out.
Awesome. So that was the main thing. You went to your boy Earl at Mr. Sports. You said, hey, I have this brand that I think people will be interested in and accustomed to. Now, you said you had this connection at first, but when you're about to pitch your brand for real, talk to me about that process. Were you nervous? Did you have all the confidence in the world? Like, if I wanted to start a clothing brand and finally put my stuff on the shelves of a legitimate establishment, how would I go about it and comparing it to what you did?
I would say if you wanted to start a brand yourself, I would say it would have to be something that you truly want to do, because I give my brand my all each and every day. From when I wake up to when I go to sleep. It's all about Dinero Talks clothing. It's all about Dinero Talks clothing. So this isn't just something that I'm doing for a short period of time. It's something I truly love, you know.
Hmm.
And I would say if anybody wants to start doing fashion, you should be passionate about it, you know.
All right, great stuff. And the humble beginnings from Norwalk, Connecticut too. And I just want to elaborate more on getting ready to put your stuff out in LA or Miami or wherever you go.
Mhm.
Any particular reason why you picked those two places?
I love Miami and LA. And honestly, I'm not too fond of the snow, so
Fair
I'm
enough.
kind of over the East Coast a little bit. So I want to transition somewhere else.
Awesome, awesome. And do you think you'll get there within the next couple of years and stuff like that, or?
The company should be there within the next 2 to 3 years.
All right, exciting stuff, dude.
Okay.
Congratulations on that. So, as you said, you pitched the business, you have a place to go, you have a website. Can you tell us one more time for that?
The website is www.dinerotalksclothing.com. We have clothes at Mr. Sports in Norwalk, Connecticut, 235 Main Street. And we also have an Instagram page and a Facebook page, Dinero_Talks_clothing.
Awesome. So you know the deal. We're going to keep promoting that throughout, and definitely check out that link in the description page on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. Okay, so we have our clothing out there. We have our brand. We can now go and purchase it. I'm loving my Dinero Talks clothing provided by
Thank you.
Mr. Peterson, so thank you for that.
Cool.
So as much as I'm modeling it right now, the next phase, I assume, after I have my business, I have my design, now I need to, obviously fashion and modeling go hand in hand. I need people to rock my clothes. So when I'm looking at your Instagram, I always see all these models rocking what you have in all seasons and stuff. So tell me about doing that. How did you get these models who look awesome and are beautiful and rocking what you have? How did you get them to put your clothes on and putting it out there for the brand?
So we have a lot of nice models that we network with, and we also have a lot of artists that we network with also.
Mm.
So most of the models that I reach out to them and I tell them about my brand and where we're headed and what we stand behind. And most of the models actually love my designs.
Mm-hmm.
So they tell me to either send them the merch and they'll promote it for me, which the company does, or if there's somewhere locally in the East Coast, we'll do photo shoots with the models. We're always looking at network. Like right now we're on the podcast with you. We're always looking at network to open up new doors and see what opportunities we have. So it's been going good. And as far as like networking with artists, I would like to give a shout out to my friend Mike the Plug. He introduced me to Pop Smoke, rest in peace Pop Smoke. He introduced me to Fabio Foreign, make clothes for Fabio Foreign. The biggest rapper and artist I have that supports me is Cowboy. His name's 147 Cowboy. That's so envy me. I'm more than thankful. He always wears my clothes. He always shouts me out, music videos, everything. You know what I mean? So like that's huge for me to have that type of support and like you know what I mean. People that push me and keep us going as a company.
For sure. And you think the thing that really stuck to it, because I'm sure people all the time promote, hey, whatever famous person, look at what I have here and stuff like that. Do you think it was more your design or your grind or your passion that made you stick out for these incredible people to rock your clothes?
I would say it's definitely all three. It's my grind, it's my passion, and it's my design. You know, because anything that we do, we give it our all, and we're going to go to the full extent to grow and succeed and produce the best clothes we can until we jump over Yeezus or jump over Ralph Lauren, you know. We're the hottest street brand on the streets. You
That's
know
what I like to hear.
Absolutely.
And one thing I'm sure you can attest to is the patience of that. I mean, it would be great to be Ralph Lauren overnight, but obviously Rome wasn't built in a day. So before we get into, I would love to hear these stories of you being in the company of all these people, but I first just want to know about the patience to get there. Like, what made you decide, like, I know this person will like my stuff, but it's going to take some time. What allows you to keep that patience going while we have so many people who want to be viral stars overnight with whatever they're doing?
Absolutely. I would say what keeps my patience is just knowing that even though I might think I have the best design and I love my design, I can show you a shirt, or I can show my friend Max a shirt, and he might not like this shirt just because of a certain type of color or design, or you might like this shirt because of a certain type of color or design. So I gotta know everybody's not gonna be found to my clothing.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate and love everybody that does love my clothing. I know that I have to continue to grow and just continue to keep making new designs and continue to keep producing new merchandise, you know? So I can keep myself in the game, you know?
Yeah, all about the merchandise over everything. My connection with that while I developed the show and the brand, all I care about is putting the content out.
Absolutely.
And the views, the listeners, the downloads, that'll come in time. I need to prove to myself, to all these people who can just get equipment and make a podcast, I need to prove that I'm serious about that.
Absolutely.
And there are so many people who made podcasts throughout the pandemic and they're gone. Like I literally I can't think of any of the collaborative. Yeah.
It's about longevity, brother. It's a marathon. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
For real. I know exactly what you mean. And one thing we can connect on is that longevity, is just putting the stuff out there and it will follow. Like, obviously I have a ways to go, but, and trying to make something myself, but I'm sure you can attest to this too, is that we're just doing the passionate part, and then the other people will follow and are collaborators and stuff. Am I right?
Absolutely. That's why I'm here now. That's why I'm here now. You got the podcast going, I have the clothes going. Let's work. Everything's coming together. Everything's coming together.
That's why I appreciate your output and look on this, Aaron. And we just know that in time, that if, like in 10 years from now, if we're in some good places and have some influence, it's about moments like these. And we know could take a decade, but I think people have to understand how much 24 hours in a day, how much time that really is.
Yeah.
365 days is plenty.
Yeah.
So as long as we're focusing one day
at a
time, then we know where we're going to end up. So
absolutely,
it's great to have people like you to talk about this and understand, and I'm confident plenty of people will feel the same way. And you always got to make a push, and surprise people. Like right now as we're recording, we're seeing Game 7 of the Mavericks and the Suns. The Mavs are up 57-27 for arguably the favorite in this. And nobody thought that they were going to make this push. And obviously, who knows what happens in the next 2 quarters as the first half is about to end. But I'm sure you understand, you can connect with people like a Luka right here, who knows, like, man, we could pull this off and we're in the right position.
Even if you're the underdog, because right now Luka's the underdog. He's away. It's a away game, and they're up at halftime.
Look at
it's
that.
It's all about, like you said, taking it one day at a time, or in Luka's perspective, taking it 1 quarter at a time.
And you see how that comes together, man. So, great stuff there. Now let's talk about specifically the great company you have been in. We talked about Gunna, we talked about Sway and Pop Smoke. So, first,
let's not forget Cali. We had made it on MTV too.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that first. So I actually used to work at MTV for a bit. I was a PA, so you were in the big studio over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, I was a PA at TRL. It was a great time. So I think you were interviewed by Sway after my time was done there. I want to focus on that because obviously I have a lot of love for Sway as he is a radio host. And obviously that connection there. So I want to talk about that. You are in the famous Times Square studios of MTV. You're about to be interviewed and promoted by Sway in the morning. And we could do the long list of great people he's had in his amazing career. But talk to me, how did this happen? How did you wind up at the studios of MTV and then getting interviewed by Sway?
So I had got invited one day by a friend. She had tickets to go. It was DJ Khaled's album release.
Okay.
His album release. His album came out that day. So we went to New York and we went to MTV. And actually, I had brought some merchandise because that's one thing about me. I always travel with merch like today. You got your nice t-shirt, you know?
Yes, sir.
I always travel with merch and I always look forward to meeting somebody new or a new opportunity. So we made it up on MTV and there was a drawing for a guest in the audience to get called up on stage.
Oh, yeah?
So they did a drawing and they picked a random number and my number got picked. And I came up on live and I got a chance to introduce my clothing brand and introduce who I am and where I'm from. So that was a huge opportunity to me. So he asked me a couple of questions, asked me about the brand. I got a chance to give him a hat. I didn't give him a hat on the same day, but I actually seen Sway about a week after that, and we got him some merch. But it was huge to make it up on MTV and it was live, like on a live show. show, yeah.
What a
Special
moment.
Club talk, yeah.
Talking about things being meant to be.
Destined for greatness. Everything happens for a reason. That's how I live my life.
All right. So when you're on that stage, what were you feeling and it's having the cameras on you? Do you remember what you were feeling? I'm sure something like that just flies by fast, but do you remember like that moment?
I was definitely nervous. But I got used to it after I was on stage for a couple of minutes, and everything went good. I introduced my brand, so I got to talk to Khaled, and I gave some clothes to Khaled's wife also. So,
Look at that. How about that? Talk about major key. So
major key.
this is the start of putting
Another one, God's plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are on MTV, did the DMs get hit a lot? Did more people reach out like, "Hey, I saw you there"?
Of course. That's one of the main things about networking. Anytime you do something huge, I had a lot of DMs, people that want to work or different ambassadors, or people that just want to network, or people just congratulate me, and I never take anything like that for granted, you know. You can never take nothing like that for granted. So that always keeps me going and keeps me on 10 toes, ready for my next move.
I definitely hear that. One question I do want to ask: when you have all these people reach out to you, how are you able to figure out who's legitimate and who's not? You don't want to get scammed. You don't want to get any phishing incidents. I'm sure there were some people trying to. They may be proud of you too, but they might want to screw you over at the same time. How are you able to separate or figure out who's legitimate I can work with and who's not?
I mean, if it involves like money and contracts and stuff like that, I'll either make a phone call to my lawyer, or if it's just like an ambassador, I'll look at their following, or if it's an artist that wants custom merch, or if it's an artist that has a huge following and that can help the Dinero Talks clothing brand out, or we can help each other out and we can network, then I'll just go by their following, or I'll talk to their management, just do everything professional, bro.
Okay, cool. So that's definitely key on having your team together, is that they have their shit
Your
together.
team is everything. That's why I'm thankful for my brother being here today, my brother Matt,
Yeah,
Team is everything.
what's up to Max? How you doing over there? You good?
I'm good, brother. Just watching this, soon to be classic interview.
Awesome,
Right.
good stuff.
Man.
So I think that's another thing I would love for you to branch out on, is being around the right people. I think that's one important thing that they should promote more, is the company you keep.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that more with your personal experience with that?
I can elaborate like that by saying the company you keep is everything. Like I gave a shout out a little bit earlier to my friend Mike the Plug. Like somebody like that I reason I shouted him out because as him being a friend and he also supports me. He's a booking agent and a promoter, and he has his own studio. If you ever need any studio time, anybody ever need any studio time, you get up at Mike the Plug on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
He always puts me in position to win.
Yeah.
Like right now, you're a good friend of mine. Right now, we're working. You want to keep people around you that's going to push you to the next level. You don't want to be around anybody that's just stagnant, or doesn't have any dreams. I would say,
Yeah.
Like you want to keep people around you that has big dreams, that strive for a lot. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's very important, is you need to be people who are willing to take the risk, and the people who are willing to, even in this really fucked up world, especially with inflation and gas prices and everybody angry at everybody, you want to have people who are positive enough to make a push for it. I think that's very important to make clear, that there are people who still believe in themselves, no matter where they're at in life, if they want to put their passion. And I'll even go as far as say have a healthy, emphasize the word healthy ego too.
Yeah.
That they
Health is
understand. Yeah, health is wealth
Health is
indeed. So I think that's very important that you made apparent there, is keeping that idea in your head, is to always make the push for greatness and being with people who also feel that they can make a push for greatness too. And if they don't, see you later, because
You are who you surround yourself with.
yeah. So, and you couldn't say it any better, bro. You really couldn't.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
So some other people I'd like to know. The late Pop Smoke, may he rest in peace. How did you get in his company?
I got his company with Mike the Plug. Mike
Okay.
the Plug, he did
It's
a
Mike
lot.
the Plug. He's a well-connected man.
Yeah, that's my
see.
brother. That's my brother. He's a well-connected man. I had reached out to Mike one day because I seen Mike was hosting the event for Pop Smoke, and I wanted to make some. I wanted to make them custom. When I network with artists, I always make them custom merch. Even though I love my designs and everything I put out, artists love when they get something one-of-one that's made, or like something that nobody else can get. You know, because it gives that special feeling. You know.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to make Pop Smoke and Mike the Plug some customs. Then after that, me and Mike built a relationship. The rest was history. I actually linked up with Pop, who was in Waterbury, Connecticut. I made him a custom jacket. I made him a custom hat, and I made him a custom book bag. We clicked. It was a good time. It was a good time. Rest in peace, Pop.
For sure. Gone too soon, man.
Whoa.
Hmm. Wow, but that was cool. He was a good guy. He was good to you and stuff.
Yeah, he was good to me. He was good to me. Yeah, he was definitely good to me. He showed me love.
You always appreciate the when you hear people of influence like that, or you know, just take a few minutes. And I'm sure it must suck every single day to get people hounding you for your influence, but you appreciate the people who still remember their routes and are kind enough.
Definitely, definitely.
Which, by the way, wow, okay, what's the thought? Am I blanking on something? It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But all right. But I just saw you recently were in the company of Jadakiss too.
Yeah, shout out Jadakiss. He actually showed me a lot of love. It was my brother's birthday yesterday. Actually, I got some custom merch. I got some merch to Jadakiss. We had met up we were in Manhattan.
Okay.
And he had an event there. We gave some merch to Jadakiss and Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave, and shout out Big Fendi also. We gave Fendi merch too. You know. Yeah, so it was dope. Jadakiss showed a lot of love. He signed some hats and some merch so I could give to my brother for his birthday. So that was dope. I introduced the brand and it was a good connection.
Look at this. So it seems like every time whether you introduce someone famous or not, you really know how to put yourself and your clothes out there. Like, is that ultimately your big strategy? Just whoever I can see, whoever I can be in the company with, any way I can give you some clothes to promote. That's your goal.
I would say that's always my goal, to put my clothes out there and put my brand out there. And if it's somebody big that's an influence or somebody that I believe they could take the clothing brand to the next level, definitely, yes. Give them some new merch and some new customs, let's work, let's make a connection.
Yeah, it's like when Beats by Dre was first starting. Any way that they can have the famous people wear the headphones. That's what you're basically doing with the Dinero Talks.
Yes, yes.
Do you have a dream person in mind that you want to see rock a Dinero Talks merchandise?
A dream person? I wouldn't say it's a dream, but Chris Brown, that would be dope.
Chris
That'd
Brown.
be dope, yeah. And I definitely see us networking with Chris Brown within the next year.
All right,
It's
man.
right there, bro. It's right there, you know.
Got that on
Yeah.
camera.
I'm big and I'm huge on manifestation. Actually, our next collection that we're dropping, or I know for sure our next T-shirts are going to be manifesting millions.
Manifesting millions.
How you like the sound of that?
I believe in you, man. I believe in you. There's no reason why you can't make it happen. I mean, you're having Sway and Pop Smoke and Jadakiss wear your clothing. Why not have Chris Brown or name the person you want to see? Well, most importantly, I'm sure you just want any person to
Any
rock
person,
it,
yeah.
no matter who they are.
Who it is. Anybody that I see my clothes, that I see wearing my clothes, I truly appreciate and love it.
Manifesting millions, I like it.
Like the sound of that? Manifesting millions, yeah.
No reason why it can't happen, or no reason why it can't happen. So I wanted to now focus with other things with 2022. Obviously, we introduced the show with that. You're starting your new collections. It's obviously we're about to start the summer and stuff like that. Regarding 2022, I was wondering what else do you see, or what do you want to accomplish within the next 7 months before New Year's of 2023?
Within the next 7 months, I want to continue to push my summer collections out. Do our pop-up shop. We're gonna do the pop-up shop in June, and then if everything comes together, we'll probably do another pop-up shop before the year ends. Maybe a Dinero Talks pool party.
Yeah?
You never know where we could take it, you know.
Please let me know when that happens, man.
Absolutely, bro. I have some swimming trunks ready for you. If you want some customs, let's do it.
Oh, definitely, and we'll make some more content along the way.
Sounds like a plan, bro.
I like it, good stuff. So I wanted to ask about Norwalk. That's how we connected. It's our early days at West Rocks Middle School,
Right.
Norwalk High School. Now we're here in 2022 doing a show, a big blessing there. I was wondering, how does Norwalk influence your brand? Or how does Norwalk influence your grind and stuff from your beginnings in the 203?
Norwalk definitely influenced my brand or my grind because I grew up there, you know.
Mm.
But I got my hustle mainly not from Norwalk, but I got my hustle probably from my older brother the most. Not probably, but I did get my hustle from my
Yeah.
older brother. But even with Norwalk, I spent a lot of money growing up buying back to school clothes and sneakers from the clothing store, the sneakers for Mr. Sports. So it's
Okay.
a pleasure now I can sell clothes out of there and make money with Mr. Sports, you know. So like that was a big influence. And growing up, we didn't have the clothing brand or nothing. I was more so into football, like sports and basketball and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which that didn't work out, but I'm not sad about it.
Exactly, you
because we
got
got
the
the clothing.
calling here.
I found the plan. Yeah, we got the clothing line, but Norwalk had a huge influence. I have a lot of supporters in Norwalk, which is huge, and I appreciate it. So it's good, man. It's good. Shout out to North Connecticut.
For real. Talk about full circle, man. That's awesome.
Mhm.
And you know, it's not a secret that people used to bash, like whether it's Norwalk or Connecticut, people are like, who comes out of there?
Mhm.
And you know, with the exception of the TikTok D'Amelios, and that's a whole other story how that somehow happened. But focus on a more humble and respectful people like Mr. Peterson right here. I was wondering, what do you have to say to people who think like, you know, whether Connecticut or Norwalk or Fairfield County, there might be some people who just think, oh, this is just some other boring place in Connecticut. But yet, look what you're producing out of it. What do you have to say to those haters or criticizers?
To those haters, I don't never have too much always to say to the haters. You know, people going here regardless whether you're doing good or bad. But speaking from Dinero's point of view, I can make it anywhere, bro. I can make it in
Right.
Jersey City. We're in Jersey City right
Yes,
now.
sir.
Shout out Jersey City and Matt Brown. I can make it in New York, Norwalk, Miami. You know, I'm destined for greatness, bro. You know.
I really love it. I love the answer. Like, there's no reason why we can't. That's the most important thing. No reason why we can't. And that's really cool. It really is. And I think now with technology, and I understand people have their criticisms for social media and whatever, you really can pull it off. You just have to put the work in and have the patience. And the
Stay
big
consistent.
key, consistency most of all, and
Yes.
not giving a fuck
What anybody thinks.
what anybody thinks. Like, how can somebody, like, really listen to somebody who you don't know, who criticizes and stuff? Like, I hear Kevin Hart, for instance. Kevin Hart definitely knows how to put himself out there with his movies, online content, his radio show and stuff. And people are, hey, oh, he does too much, he's so lucky. They don't realize how much work Kevin Hart puts into his brand and what he does. And I'm sure you feel that way, and there's so many people hating and stuff. Like, don't get mad that he took the time within the 24 hours to
The time
promote
in the
himself.
risk. Keep going. Sorry to cut you off. The time in the risk though, because it's
Yeah.
a risk every day.
Right.
Every day when you're chasing your dreams as an entrepreneur, it's a risk and a gamble. That's why I tell anybody that's chasing their dreams.
1,000%, bro. 1,000%. And like I said, no reason why we can't. So, one thing I want to talk to you about is your fitness. You really knew how to transform yourself. I see you grinding, I see you putting in the work and staying healthy, health as well. So just branching off from other things besides Dinero Talks and focusing on Aaron right now, why don't you talk to me about your grinding, your fitness ethic, and why did you decide to, put a real emphasis on health?
I decided to focus on my health because growing up I was always chubby or a little more so fat, you know. But
I know.
shout out to my cousin, her name is Brianna Ruffin. She was my personal trainer. I started working with her last September, October, and we started training because usually I travel, I go on vacation, so everybody wants a nice body, you know.
Of course.
So I started training with Brianna, and she got me fit And then from there, I just loved how my body looked, and I think I got addicted to the gym. So that's really like the fitness goal. And I always feel good about myself. Like I feel confident. I can go to sleep late, or I can wake up early. I always feel healthy. I don't feel tired. Before I used to turn up a lot with my friends, or like party on weekdays, or party a lot on the weekend. You know, it's nothing wrong with turning up. Enjoy yourself. You only live once, you know.
Cheers.
But I think I was turning up a little too much, you know. So like fitness
Yeah.
got me on the right track, bro. And it's a blessing that I'm focused on my health. You know, health is wealth, and it's a blessing that I'm fit. You know?
Yeah, and I know how you feel. I used to be a big boy myself. You can attest to that. And
Yeah, you slimmed down, man. You look great, bro.
I
You're doing
appreciate
great.
Yeah, I mean, you look great too. You should be very proud of yourself. I also, like you said, being a chubby boy, I just would always get flamed.
Mhm.
And I can't be like, stop, you're hurting my feelings.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, you're hurting his feelings, we're going to stop. You just have fuel to the fire with that.
Right.
So I honestly, my first motivation, well, you can't make fun of me for being fat if I'm not fat. So
Right. Let's
start with that.
You gotta start with the problem always in life.
Yeah, I at first, like 5 years ago, I got real slim and it was good because my metabolism was easier and stuff like that. I just had to put an hour and a half in the gym 6 days a week, and I can still eat whatever I want. But then you notice how your body metabolism slows down, and I just got back into work. But then in 2019, and also dating someone a long time, I got lazy and the weight came back. And I was like, fuck, I am embarrassed. Simple
That's
as
just
that.
my
I was
future
embarrassed.
girlfriend. Don't let the happy weight catch up if I'm keeping you happy.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm joking.
The happy weight cake club.
Catch up.
Oh man, we have some great quotes coming through this, but yeah, dude. So when I moved to Jersey and had the weight on, I was like, and I was being a full-time Uber driver at the time. I was like, wow, I am either going to Uber and get more fat and be healthy, and if I'm sitting in a car seat for 6 to 8 hours, I am going to be in a bad place. So I took it seriously again, and I now had to change my diet for good, that's the one thing I'm really proud of.
You feel better about yourself, right? You have more energy and everything.
Yeah, I can hop out of bed right now at this time of my life, and the first step I took was going to Dinero and having salad every single day.
I love Dinero too.
Yeah. So that was my start. The main one in the Clifton, New Jersey. Shout out to the manager Nicole, who always notices me there.
Okay, shout out to Nicole then.
Yeah, and it's better getting noticed at Panera than Burger King or McDonald's.
Right, you ain't never lied about that, bro.
Yeah. So I did that. I moved around. I knew that, okay, if I could just focus on my health, and this was back in January, that by the time we're approaching the summer, regardless of summer night, at least I can put up with all the bullshit of being an Uber driver. And it worked. Thank God it didn't have to. I wasn't promised it, and now I am Ubering on the weekends, but I don't have to do it full time. So
That's a blessing.
that was all health. Before I thought about looking for that, like you said, I needed to put myself in the right position to move forward. And my interviews, I always interview for jobs now. I'm lucky to be in a place and I can focus on this now.
Mm-hmm.
So relating that back to you, and health is wealth, and being important, and keeping up with your energy and stuff, I'm sure you know exactly what I mean from that.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, bro. And I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your fitness journey. I'm happy for the podcast. I'm happy with everything you're doing with your life, bro, you know?
Oh
Just
man,
keep
I'm
grinding.
happy for you, man.
Yeah.
The way this all started, I ran into you when I was in Norwalk at the Yard House.
Yeah, I was at your house. I like your house. You can catch me at your house, man.
Yeah, great establishment.
Mhm.
You know, one thing led to another. I knew you had a band to promote. I have a brand to promote other brands with this podcast, and now we're here, and we've been talking some more with that. So it just shows how things are meant to be, and everything happens for a reason. And I'm really happy you're here to talk about this and stuff, and we're only helping each other out and bringing Mag here together. And I appreciate that.
Max, 730 Max.
Yeah, 730 Max.
Yeah.
I apologize for
Yeah.
that, but
322 blocker.
Free block.
Yep.
it's really cool how this comes together, and we're not being bums, and we're not having a chip on our shoulder. I mean, sorry, we're not salty with this world with a chip on her shoulder. You should use your chip on your shoulder as motivation, not as a way to be
Be
cynical.
down or be negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always be positive in life. To anybody that's watching this, always stay positive.
Always
Not what you're
think
going
positive, man. Always
Always.
think positive. So, there's just a few things that we wrap up. We're killing it for 40 minutes of great quality content right here. So, one, with the any other things that we haven't mentioned with what you want to see in the future Dinero Talks. You're looking into relocating and making more brands in Miami or LA or both. You have your pop-up shops coming this year. You keep promoting the brand. You're starting to network some more. What other things do you want to see in the future for Dinero Talks that haven't been mentioned already?
What other things I would like to see in the future? I would really just
Ooh,
say.
just 1 second. Just put that in my picture.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I was saying, one other thing I like to see in the future, probably mainly just multiple stores, as much stores as possible. Stores outside of the country, stores inside of, stores in Dubai, stores in Paris. There's no limit to Dinero Talks clothing, Dinero Talks NFTs,
Dinero
you know,
Talks
everything.
NFTs.
Let's do it.
Dude,
Yeah, I want to keep
awesome.
growing, networking with everybody, you know, continue to grow, make bigger connections. Let's get some bikinis to the Kardashian family. Let's do it.
No reason why you can't, man. No reason why you can't. I believe in you. Beyond everything, Aaron, just from Matt to Aaron, Matt to Max, I just want to say that I believe in you, bro. You have something great going. I know you won't, but I just want to reiterate, don't give up on this. This is some great stuff, man, and I'm really proud of you as your friend and everything else. This is awesome what I'm seeing from you, man.
I appreciate that truly, bro, honestly. You know, future billionaires, both of us. So we just got to keep hustling and keep going. It's a marathon. It'll never stop. Keep going.
Absolutely, dude. Keep it going. And just anything else you watch? You watching anything? You
A lot.
when you're not grinding, when you're not in the gym, what else does Aaron do on his free time?
On my free time, I watch a lot of vlogs by Virgil on YouTube. So
Laws by Virgil.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get a lot of knowledge from those, and just always look up new designs or try to create something new for the brand, you know, or just always a new connection. Just work, bro, work.
I respect
Knowledge
it.
is power. Knowledge is power. It never stops.
Knowledge is power, man. And still keeping up with you've been watching NBA playoffs. Excited for the NFL. Who are your teams again?
I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, and I'm an Indiana Patriots fan, but we haven't been doing that good. Yeah.
Hey, they might have something here with Levert and stuff. I know they traded a lot of their assets away, but maybe they're building something like you. Sometimes you have to restart it.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope so.
You excited for Lamar Jackson another year, even though Hollywood Brown's gone? Do you think they still can make a push and stuff?
Yeah, always. I'm always excited for the Ravens. That's not a question.
Good stuff, man.
Shout out Lamar. So we
All
get
right.
some merch too, eventually.
There's one more thing we have to do, then we'll promote your brand one last time. This is called the Proust Questionnaire. 10 questions, generic questions that help us know you one more time, man, and know the person you are. Every first appearance, I ask these questions, and I'd like to do it for you, man. And you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
The Proust Questionnaire for Aaron Peterson. Let's do it, bro. My first question in the Proust Questionnaire for you is, what is your favorite word?
Dinero.
Fair enough, duh. All right, Dinero. Next question. What is your least favorite word?
No.
No. Okay, okay. So this is not necessarily a sexual question, but I can see why for the dirty minds, but this is more of a life and fulfillment question. What turns you on in this world?
Hustle and opportunity. Every day I wake up, I have an opportunity to be great. And it's the hustle in me that keeps me going. That's what
Respect.
turns me on.
Respect. What turns you off in this world?
Negative people that believe things aren't possible because anything is possible.
Definitely. Definitely, man. You don't have to say that twice. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound of noise.
Yeah.
Sound of deposit.
Sound of deposits,
Yeah.
the ching. Okay.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Sound of noise that I hate. That's tough. I don't think I have any sounds or noise that I hate. Maybe nagging, complaining, my girlfriend or something. I don't have any too much sounds I don't like.
That's fair, that's fair. What's your favorite curse word?
My favorite curse word? Probably fuck.
Okay.
Some shit. If it's something that's going on I don't like, I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I do the exact same thing. What profession other than your own would you like to attend?
That I like to attend.
Yeah, besides growing your brand, being an entrepreneur and designer, what other things would you like to attend?
I mean, instead of just being a clothing designer, I could definitely see me being a shoe designer or even a photographer.
Okay.
I always like taking pictures growing up.
I like it, a photographer. What profession would you not like to do?
Not like to do anything I don't like.
Okay.
Anything I don't like, pretty much.
And my last question before we wrap things up is, two questions. One, we see the Suns are about to get knocked out. Imagine if you betted the underdog in this. Is Chris Paul cursed?
Maybe he is. I didn't bet. I actually I bet on Dallas tonight.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I wish shout out
hit the money line?
but they actually owe us some money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I lost some today too on some other things, but there's another day for that. But last but not least, my final question for now, Aaron, before you promote your brand one more time. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Aaron, I'm proud of you. You took advantage of everything we took advantage of every opportunity I gave you.
Beautiful, man, beautiful. One more time, promote the brand. Tell us where we can find your stuff online and where we can purchase your merchandise.
235 Main Street, Norwalk, Connecticut at Mr. Sports. Online, www.dinerotalksclothing.com. Instagram at @DineroTalks_clothing. Facebook, Dinero Talks Clothing.
Beautiful. And is there anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
It was a pleasure. Thanks to everybody that tuned in and watched our podcast. Shout out to Matt Brown. Shout out to my brother 730 Mags. Breed Twin. Shout out Mike the Plug. Shout out 147 Cowboy. Maddie Baby. That's another artist that supported me when I was first coming up. And shout out to my whole team and everybody that continues to support us.
What a moment. Like I said, Aaron, I'm proud of you. Keep this going. Let's keep collaborating. And I see you making some big strides, man. Keep it going. Proud of you, bro, and thank you for coming by, man. That's Aaron Peterson, the founder and designer of Dinero Talks Clothing, and we'll see you later. Thanks again, man.
Thank you, brother. It was a pleasure.
Bye-bye.